So this is Sunday. That means it's time for family movie night. And this week we are talking about our first of our Disney Scares month. This is very exciting, where all of the movies that we're going to be talking about are all made by Disney and have sort of a spooky, scary kind of element to them. And we did this last year, and so this is going to be a little more, maybe a little more obscure this year. So the first one that we're talking about for Disney Scares month this year is we're talking about Hocus Pocus. It's a movie that came out in 1993, and it is not one that I have a lot of nostalgia for. I know many people do, and they really, really love it, watch it every year at Halloween. This is definitely not one that I watched growing up or that I particularly liked growing up. So I maybe not as forgiving of some of its flaws as other people might be, but I definitely think it's a solid watch. It's decent. If you want to watch sort of a scary movie, then it's a good watch. The setup for the movie is there are these three witches in 1693 Salem. They have Winnie, Mary, and Sarah. That are these three witches played by Bette Midler, Kathy Nimjani, and Sarah Jessica Parker. They end up, there's this spell, and this little boy and this little girl who kind of confront the witches, and they end up getting this curse put on them, and then the witches are all hanged, and then there is this curse that will free them when a virgin lights this black flame candle. And that doesn't happen all the way until 1993, and you get this kid named Max who comes and he frees the witches, and so they have all kinds of mayhem, all kinds of craziness. And you have the black cat, who the little boy in the 1693 was turned into, and the little girl's just kind of like in limbo or whatever. And so the basically the movie is like these witches basically sort of chasing and this boy and his family. And so there's some scary sequences, there's some funny sequences. They're definitely meant sort of be kind of campy and over the top. And I did appreciate that, like, there was no attempt to kind of make them nice. Like, they're definitely witches, and they're definitely like, there's no like sentimental moment where they like realize that, oh look, I was bullied too when I was a kid or something, and the witches like there's none of that. They're just like bad witches. They're kind of funny in the way that they're bad, but they are bad from the very beginning to the very end. And so I kind of appreciate that. I think that the kid is kind of blah. He doesn't really do a lot for me, and it is weird the way the movie constantly refers to his being a virgin, which is just sort of strange, I think, and as if that's something to be sort of embarrassed by. But and it's this thing that opens the curse when he lights the candle. And there's also a problem with this movie where I feel like it has a spot where it ends. And then it goes on another half hour. It's not that it's that long of a movie. It's only 96 minutes, but there's definitely a spot where it feels like, oh, this is a natural ending. And then we get another half hour. So I feel like maybe this movie might have been a little bit better if it was a made-for-TV movie, because those usually are around, around 70 minutes, and this is 96 minutes. And I think it would have been a little bit stronger in that regard. I think that the three ladies are really having a lot of fun. You can tell they're enjoying playing these witches. And so that goes a long way. And like I said, it's sort of fun to have just sort of deliciously evil characters like your Maleficents and your Wicked Witch of the West and your things like that aren't trying to be the hero at all. They don't have that second layer, that are just baddies. That's fun. I enjoy that, and I kind of miss that. So I enjoyed that about this film. And it definitely has sort of a 90s nostalgic feel to it, even though it's not one I grew up with. And so I think that you can definitely watch this movie and enjoy it together as a family. I don't think it's too scary for little kids, although the virginity stuff is just sort of strange, but that would probably go over little kids' heads. But anyway, there are a few little scary moments, but I don't think too much. I think this is most kids can handle it. And so I would give this movie like a B minus. I think it's watchable. I think it's enjoyable. I think it has some good 3 lead performances, and I like the evilness of it. I think it's fun. but I do, like I said, I do think it feels a little bit too long, and I just think it has some tonal weird choices that they made in the story. But anyway, let me know what you think about Hocus Pocus. Is a favorite of yours? Is it one you grew up with? This is directed by Kenny Ortega, who I do love, who did the Descendants movies recently. Which you can totally tell, it definitely has that feel. He also directed Newsies, which I love, and so he has this relationship with Disney, which is really nice. High School Musical movies. And so there you go. Let me know what you think about this one. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you later. Bye.